everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a video on how to Mod Podge a picture to a wooden canvas. I built this wooden canvas yesterday. This is a very large canvas. It measures 28 by 38. So I use a number 2 pine from a local lumber yard. They deliver the boards to me. And then the picture I have is a 20 by 30, and that's from the Walmart Photo Lab. I don't like using photos from anywhere else. I strictly use the Walmart Photo Lab because I like the quality of the paper. It shows less bubbles, and it's thicker, and it's easier. I get it in a matte finish, and I get it on a poster print from the Walmart Photo Lab. To cut our lines in the photo, some people don't cut lines. You don't have to. I prefer it, so I'm going to cut my lines. You always want to try to avoid cutting through someone's face or eye, or, you know, if at all possible, avoid doing that. But with this picture, this line right here will probably cut through their face. But that's okay. As long as I keep the lines small, then we'll be good. So you want to place it about where you want it to be, and I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to mark my lines. So that's how I mark my lines. See, one right there and one right there. And when I go back with my ruler, I'll connect this line with that top line and the bottom line with the bottom line, and then I'll cut it. Okay, guys, so now what I'm fixing to do is stain the cracks. Because if I Mod Podge the picture down first, then Mod Podge will cover the cracks. And if I try to go over later and stain the cracks, then it won't take because there's Mod Podge clear coating it. So I'm going to stain the cracks first. And once I get those stained, then I will Mod Podge my photo down. And then I'll stain. If I were to stain the whole thing first and then Mod Podge the picture down, there's a chance that if it doesn't dry all the way, that the stain will bleed through the photo and you'll have brown spots in your picture. Also, if you stain it first and then you go back and sand the edges, then you'll take some of your stain off. So this is just the way that I prefer to do it. It works best for me. If you want to stain the board first, that's fine, but I would give it at least 24 hours to dry before Mod Podging your photo down. And when you sand the edges, yes, you'll take off some of the stain, but it'll give it a rustic look. You can go back over the edges, or you can restain where some of it came off. So it's just your preference. So instead of staining the cracks with the actual stain, because, you know, it takes a little bit to dry, and I've had it where the stain still pulled through to some of the picture, I'm going to mix some brown paint and water and do the cracks that way, because no one will ever know the difference. So I just got a little cup of water, and I'm going to add some paint and do that. After you stain it, you want to rub it in, rub all the excess off. You also want to clean the board, make sure you have no grit, sand, or any kind of trash on the board or the back of your picture, because it'll show through. It'll look like a big dent on the finished project, and you don't want that. Now that I've got the board cleaned off and I have my marks, I'm going to start Mod Podging. I don't like to put it on the back of this and then lay it down, because it's harder to move and adjust it, and it's just a little more difficult. So I'm just going to put the Mod Podge on the board where I've got it marked. And the reason I mark lines is I don't want to go too far outside of those lines, because then the stain won't take to it. So I like to use a rag to wipe off the excess, and you'll want to, I bought a squeegee with the felt on the tip to make it easier. But this does make it helpful. You do need a credit card of some sorts to rub out the bubbles. You want to be careful not to push too hard because you can scratch the picture even though it's a matte finish. If you don't have a felt and you want one, just wrap an old t-shirt on it and use it that way, like that. It makes it a little smoother to run it across and get the bubbles out. Also, when you're Mod Podging like this, don't worry about getting it on top of the picture because you're going to clear coat with the Mod Podge, and once you do that, you'll never see the marks that are on it from doing this. Okay, so let's say that you got all your bubbles rubbed out and you realize that your picture shifted a little bit. Back up just a little bit. All you got to do is pull it gently, see, and it'll move just like that. Okay. So don't make fun of my brush. I've had this for 2 years. I've never cleaned it. All I do is I stick it in a cup of water, and whenever I'm ready to use it, I take it and I shake it out into my yard. I've bought new brushes and I still prefer this one. I know it's really bad. So if y'all look, y'all will see where I accidentally got some stain on the picture. So I'm just gonna try to scratch that off a little bit. Okay guys, I am all done with this project. I do want to say that after you Mod Podge it, this is smooth, but the sides right here and the wood's a little rough. So if you want, it's not necessary, but if you want to go and kind of smooth this out a little, just rub the grittiness off, it just adds a little bit nicer. It just doesn't feel as rough.